Good afternoon and welcome to episode 3 of Tesserarian Tales campaign of the Bookhounds of London. We are one short today, but only hopefully for the next few minutes. Mr. Hughes will be joining us as soon as he is able to make it in front of his computer. In the meantime, we will review events from last game. When last we left our heroes, the Bookhounds were assaulted by a creature with multiple eyes, a poisonous bite, and a psychedelic lick. It mauled Mr. Hughes fairly badly, and the rest of the store staff dragged the catalog agent out and ran for their lives. They delivered him to the Great Ormond Street Hospital, where they got Mr. Hughes healed, evaded the questions of Detective Sergeant Garvey, and took stock of what they had encountered. While Professor Handley had a small episode with the toxic goo, everyone decided it was time to rest on what had occurred. In an office Johnstone Dives unknowingly led them to, Miss McGill and Mr. Hughes found a ledger and an occult shrine. A Vesica Piscis was drawn on the floor and on a map of London, connecting several murder sites related to Jack the Ripper. And then Mr. Dives returned. Miss McGill was able to hide, but Mr. Hughes was not so lucky. He managed to talk his way out of the room, even learning that the creature they encountered was called a Nagai, and ran for home. Miss McGill made her own way out a few moments later, witnessing Dives speaking to a massive disembodied eye that glowered down at her. Meanwhile, Anne discovered that the hole under the store, which the Nagai had come out of, led to an ancient and decrepit chapel or theater with a decayed sigil on the wall. She conferred with Professor Handley, and the two of them identified it as the Yellow Sign, related to the Great Unnameable One. They barely had time to register this before Mr. Hughes returned and relayed events at Mitre Street, finishing with, "He knows what the dog is." And fortuitously, Mr. Hughes has appeared, having just told the professor and Miss Bailey that Mr. Dives knows what attacked them.
So, yeah. That's complicated.
No, how does he know again?
Because I told him. But he told me what it was. All I did was describe it. See?
Right.
I don't know. He knows stuff we don't. And he didn't seem surprised when I told him it was related to this this Nazi lady. I can't make heads or tails of it, but y'all should know.
Well, clearly we've been left out of the loop.
I'll say.
I don't like that.
Perhaps we could ask Dive to borrow some of his books. He is a scholar, after all. Of a kind.
That would be a lovely idea, except that I don't... After this afternoon, I don't think we're in his best graces.
Speaking of, where's Miss McGill?
She'll be along, I think.
Oh?
Professor Handley and Miss Bailey, do either of you have BS detector? Or assess honesty, I'm sorry. Use the genre appropriate.
No. Well, very good. In that case, Miss Bailey would just show me some stuff in the basement.
The basement?
Yes, we have a basement.
No, we don't.
Well, this is what I thought as well, but apparently I was most mistaken.
Oh. Anything good?
Nothing good at all.
Just our luck this week. Well, what's down there?
I show him the drawing that I made of the yellow sign.
What's that?
I'm glad to ask. This is called the Yellow Sign.
There we go.
I came across it in a book, which I would lend you, but it's probably not in your milieu.
All right. So what's it mean?
Well, it's a sigil of this allegedly a great unnameable one. Very spooky.
Okay. Why is it in our basement?
Well, this did used to be a theatre, so I'm wondering if perhaps it was part of a elaborate set at one time.
Massive side eye, but
All right.
all right.
Shaw's not sure what to do with that information.
It looks like a church in the basement.
Oh, it doesn't look like any Methodist church I've been to.
Of course not. But more importantly, perhaps, there was a gate leading, I think, down to the sewer.
Question for the storyteller.
Oh,
Would the knowledge cover the underground as well?
yes.
Okay. I might be able to tell you if that's the truth or not.
Well, I detected no noxious vapors earlier, so we could go and take another look if you like.
Oh, good. After you, Professor.
Oh no, I'm not the explorer.
Oh, for pity's sake.
As you're turning to walk away towards the broom closet, there's a knock on your door that you had locked in order to keep the traffic out while you went and explored your new Eldritch basement.
Bloody hell.
Can we have some sort of form of window on the door or a window on the front?
Yes, there is a man in a smart-looking uniform who appears to be holding an envelope of some sort.
I hope this isn't a solicitor.
Well, Shaw will move to open the door.
Okay. The gentleman bows slightly, goes, "Telegram from Miss Anne Bailey."
If she's here, I'll take it.
He smiles and looks at you expectantly.
I'll give him a sixpence. Forgive my man, Shaw. He's uncouth sometimes. There you go, sir.
Excuse you?
Thank you very much, sir.
Kind regards.
And he's off.
Hand it over.
Here you are.
What does it say?
You open it up, and it is addressed to you from Birgit van Kant. And it says, "Miss Bailey, I must extend to you my most extreme apologies. I'm afraid I assigned someone to observe your establishment who got a little overenthusiastic. Please feel free to submit to me a bill for all damages, to include any medical costs you may have incurred, and I will gladly see that restitution is made."
The cheek.
What did it say?
Yeah, Shaw just stares.
And reads it aloud.
Well, this is all a little strange, but that at least seems like a nice gesture.
A nice gesture.
She just admitted that she sent her frog pet monster thing.
Aye, what she said.
Yes.
Right. Professor, why don't you make us some tea?
Oh, I would love to. Excuse me. He'll be away for a few minutes.
Yes.
In case you want to talk with the non-naive people.
What are we going to do about that then?
Things are happening very quickly. Now it seems like everyone involved except us knew some of the nature of this.
Uh-huh.
Now, common sense says we bow out to this right quick. However, I'm not willing to let it go at that. I think they thought they could play me. As an Irish woman running a bookshop, they thought they could just do whatever they liked and not tell me. Fine. I want this book.
All right. Well, we still have a few leads, so I guess I'll see to it. You plan to sell it when you get it? Quite a pretty penny.
Oh, it's fine, but I need to get it first. That's the point for me. I need to get it, and I need them to know I've got it.
You pay me, so as you wish.
Insert anachronistic.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't like it either.
Were you two going to go down to the basement?
We're going to wait for the professor to return from making tea.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
Professor, are you trying to make tea long enough that they go down to the basement without you?
Oh, I'm just genuinely making some tea.
Okay.
Here you go, everybody. I put an extra sugar in it for fortifying our constitution.
Oh, good.
A nice cuppa is had by one and all.
Okay, let's go.
And you go down the hole. As I said before, in the seemingly perfectly functional torches you have with you just don't seem to like it down here. They twitch, they flicker, giving an occasional strobe effect to the stone pews and the small raised dais. And the decrepit, you can make out the outlines of the yellow sign on the wall, but it is clearly decayed.
They must have used this set a long time ago, the condition of these symbols.
Where's the entrance to that sewer?
You find it catty-cornered to the entrance you came in.
Do I recognize it? Stepping through it, do I recognize it?
You do not. You do not recognize it. This is not standard issue London portcullis. But opening the lock and going about 10 yards in, you can find, yes, this looks like a hatchway that might lead to an opening into the sewer. So go ahead.
I'm going to go open that.
Okay. You go forward. You push open what looks looks like someone just set a plate or stone in front of it, and you slide it. It looks like it's sitting on a groove to slide open, and as you crack it open, the smell tells you, yes, the sewer is right over there.
You were right, Miss Bailey. Sewer it is. You smell your vapors now, Professor?
Well, they're not my vapors.
Might be. You use the toilet here. Just saying.
I have a good diet.
And while that discussion is going on, still, you are returning from your grandfather's to the shop, and you can see as you're turning the corner onto Stacy Street, a man standing out in front of the store, looking at the door. His hands are. He's a sort of doughy man, kind of jowly. He's got long mustaches, and he's chewing on the end of one of them.
And he's just looking at the store?
And he's standing at the door, looking at it pensively.
Can I help you?
Are you trying to buy a book?
No. Are you looking to buy a book yourself?
To be perfectly honest, I'm looking to sell one. But the store appears to be closed in the middle of the day.
I assume I have a key.
You do?
Yeah. I look at him and just sort of smile and walk over and unlock and say, "Please come in."
Oh, is this your shop?
Not mine, but I do work here.
Oh, right. He takes off his flat cap as he walks in, still chewing on the end of his mustache.
So, what book do you have that you're looking to sell?
Well, I get the impression from a walk I took this morning that someone in your staff has been by me mum's house.
I'm so sorry, sir. Yes.
So, my name's Ambrose Bowers. And I have a book to sell.
Please, I'm assuming we've got like someplace to sit down and do business.
Sure,
Yeah.
right near the teapot.
Excellent. Oh, and the teapot's still full and hot. Excellent. Please, have a seat. She pours him a cup of tea.
When you do, he looks around. Is there someone else here?
Yes. I believe that some of my associates are in the back. I'm just going to go and see if Miss Bailey is available. She's the one you'd be making official deals with. Is it all right with I just don't want us to be disturbed. Is it all right with you if I lock the door?
Do you have reassurance?
That's a good question.
It's an investigative ability.
Yeah, I know. I do not.
Okay.
Streetwise is not going to help in this case.
He dries his palms on his coat. Well,
I'm concerned for your safety, sir.
so you're going to lock me in?
I'm just... I don't have to. I thought that you might feel better knowing that... I'm sorry. Just here. Have some tea. I'll be right back. And
right.
She's gonna walk back and check in the back office first, and assuming there's nothing there, look into the broom closet with the hole in the floor.
When you look into the broom closet, you hear something about someone on a good diet.
Excuse me, Anne. We have someone here to do business.
On my way. Heading up.
Yep, Maggie goes up and says, she'll be out in just a moment, sir. Do you have the book with you?
No.
No, that's... I'm rather relieved, honestly.
Does everyone come up from the hall?
What do you think, Shaw? Or Hughes?
Well, probably best if I stay out of sight. No reason you shouldn't go up there.
Very good, man. Why don't you work on getting that sewer gate secured? I'll bring down some more tea.
Sure.
Right. I'll also go upstairs.
All right. So, Miss Bailey and Professor Hanley see the same doughy fellow now seated near the desk, trying to hold a cup of tea somewhat gently.
And as they come up from the back, Maggie just sort of takes them aside and says, he hasn't got it with him, but he's the one with the book.
Bowers, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well done.
Oh, no problem. I'm just happy to help in any way that I can.
Welcome back, by the way. How are you?
I'm fine.
Sounds like Hughes had quite a time. He'll tell you about it later, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes. Quite.
In the meantime, Mr. Bowers, a pleasure to meet you.
As you walk in, he stands up. Oh, hello, ma'am.
Oh, no, please, have a seat.
Is this your shop then?
It is. And Bailey.
Nice to meet you. I'm Ambrose Bowers.
Yes, we've heard a bit about you.
Look, before we go any further, I just want to make sure that whatever arrangement we come here today, you're not going to just dash right over and tell Drummel that I've been speaking to you.
Are you on the outs with Drummel?
I've had several offers on the book now, and so I'm trying to decide who I'm going to invite to the auction.
I see. So is Von Kant one of the others?
Yes.
See. Right. Well, how are you enjoying your tea?
It's very nice. Very nice.
Professor makes a lovely cup, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Well, thank you kindly.
And that was my intro to... Oh, sorry.
I'll take one down to the basement and come back in a minute.
Okay. That was my introduction to using reassurance for this coming conversation.
All right. Right. So I'm sure you're wondering why there seems to be a lot of interest in this book.
I'm wondering a great many things. You can start there.
Well, as it turns out, he looks around the empty shop conspiratorially as though someone might be listening in, leans in and goes, "It was owned by Jack the Ripper."
Was it no?
I think it probably was, actually.
So my mum was in service her whole life. Worked for a lady of mystical bent. I don't know the name. Well, this lady had a friend named Mabel. And that Mabel got in cahoots with this fellow named Dunstan, I think. But anyway, the three of them went into business. And then something went wrong. I don't know what. But when Mabel came to my mum's employer for help, she took Dunstan's book as payment. And so after when my mum retired, see, she was her employer gave her the book as payment for services well rendered.
It's an odd sort of payment.
She was an old sort of bird.
Right. Well, that answers a couple of questions. But what my most pressing question, and I apologize if this is a painful topic, but it's important that I get some kind of answer to it. Do you understand? What happened at your mum's flat?
I don't really know. I came round to see Mum and check in on the book, and there was, when I came in, the air got all sticky and thick, like a bad fog, and I started having trouble breathing. So I ran over and I grabbed the book and I ran for my life.
Let me see.
Maggie's standing in back of him going, yeah. Basically what happened.
Right. Mr. Bowers, is there anything else important you think about his book?
Well, I know it's worth a lot of dosh, what everybody's been telling me. That's what I know.
Nothing else? No strange happenings besides that last?
No.
How do you feel about frogs?
Well, you mean like the French?
Well, sure, why not? That having answered her question.
It was a Frenchman who was asking about it. He's trying to get into the auction as well. One arm frog fella.
Is that right?
Would you mind divulging the name of said Frenchman?
Oh, he said his name was Louis. His name was Louis. He didn't give me his last name.
That's an odd social behaviour. Louis the Frenchman.
Louis the one-armed Frenchman.
Louis the one-armed frog.
Now it's a children's story.
Hey!
Yay.
All right. Well, we're most certainly interested.
All right, so I need to be sure you have enough to like make it worth my while, because whatever I sell it for, I want out of the smoke for good. I want to go somewhere warm and sunny, like Canada maybe.
I've heard the Isle of Man is quite refreshing. It's closer and cheaper.
That's like New Scotland, right? I don't want to go there.
So it's a wonderful place.
Be that as it may.
I mean, your shop looks like, well, respectable, like, but there's some real toughs trying to buy this book. You think you have the money to like be part of that?
I'm certain I do. What sort of proof are you looking for?
Well, you got a backer, something?
Of course we do.
Hmm.
I have a
All right.
I have Packer with interest in this book. I've been trying to find you.
All right. I will. So I still have to wait. There's one more customer coming, Rumble's customer. But as soon as everyone's here, I'll pick a location and I'll send you an address for where the auction will take place.
We're pleased to hear it.
Is there a price that that you'd be willing to sell it for that would allow us to forego the auction?
Well, I don't know if it would be proper to try and do that and like undercut the other people who are interested.
Well, the other thing that I see may be going on here is that I think, and she kind of looks at Anne, I think that at least one of the buyers may have come to multiple people asking them to get a hold of the book, and that would be driving up the price unnecessarily.
He blinks at you for a moment as though driving up the price unnecessarily is exactly what he has in mind.
Right. No, yeah, but I can see how you would say that that was good for you, but I'm just wondering why someone else is trying to do that.
I couldn't really say.
Well, I'd say that if I had the money out that I thought I could run everyone else out of it, I'd drive up the price to get out competitors.
Right.
Do any of the three of you have assess honesty?
Nope.
I
Okay.
don't have that.
Just the guy in the basement.
The man who does is downstairs. Yep.
Okay. All right then. I'll be on my way then.
We look forward to it, Mr. Bowers.
Please, Mr. Bowers, please be careful.
Well, I figure you couldn't find me before now. Probably won't find me again till the auction. I'm careful enough.
I hope you are, sir.
Good day to you.
I understood what you mean.
Sorry, my Google Assistant apparently decided to get in on the...
He just wants to roleplay too. It's okay.
A disembodied voice.
The mic's off.
Yes, the mic is off.
Imagine that.
All right. And he unlocks the door, goes out, heads down the street.
Miss McGill,
Yes.
are you by any chance related to the McGills of originally Scotland and later Montreal, founders of what is now McGill University?
No, I'm sorry.
That's too bad, as we could have offered him a position there.
No. All right, you two. Where's Shaw?
Oh, yes. There is a well,
Spit it
downstairs.
out. Downstairs.
Yes. Well, it's Miss Bailey's story to tell, really. So I shall quiet myself.
We've some sort of church in the basement. With a door to the source, which is where the frog came from. Not sorry, your face.
All right. And that's where Shaw is.
Well, he was securing, as I understand it, making sure that the sewer entrance was secure so that we didn't get any more visitors from that vector.
Right. Well, that's good.
Are you all right?
I don't want to tell this more than once, so I'd like to wait until everybody's up here so that I can tell you what I saw and why I don't think that we should be selling this thing to dives.
Professor, shout down for him, would you?
I'll be back momentarily. I walk downstairs. Mr. Hughes, are you occupied?
Only with the thing you gave me to do.
Well, just put it down. You can finish it later, man. Let's go upstairs.
Yeah, all right. I'm coming. Is the gentleman gone?
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a gentleman, but yes.
Oh, that sort, eh? Well, up we go.
Okay, so everybody comes upstairs.
Everyone is gathered in the shop.
Maggie goes over and checks the door, and if it's not locked, she locks it.
It was not locked because Bowers walked out, but you lock it.
And she comes over and sits down. So, Dives is a wizard, and he summoned something, and it was not it was not a right thing that should be, and we can't do business with him.
Sorry, what? Well, all right. Well, so this happened after I left?
Yes. You...
Hang on. You left Mr. McGill alone with Mr. Dives?
He didn't know I was there. I was hiding, but no. So you left, and I'm so glad that you got out when you did. But I just thought that I would stay put. I would stay put until he finished whatever he was doing, and he left, and then I could leave. But I couldn't stay there any longer because he was. I don't know what he was doing. It was. He was summoning something, and it was huge, and it could tell I was there, and I had to get out of there. And I did. I don't think he saw me, but I'm right. I know you think I'm crazy. I'm sorry. But Shaw, it really did happen.
All right, just take a breath now. Calm down.
Would you like some laudanum? I think I have some in my case.
That'd be lovely, thank you.
Okay, I'll just put a few drops in one second.
Okay.
I'll go get some medicine.
Now, I know this is hard for you to talk about. Can you say you're being very vague about what you saw or heard?
It was a giant eye, like a giant eyeball.
That he was talking to.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you another question. You said before when you mentioned Jack the Ripper when Bowers did, you said you acted like that made sense to you. Can you tell me why?
It did. That's Shaw was there for that bit. When we were looking around the office, he had a map of London set out, and he had air, he had water and earth and air from all different places around London, but he had the places where the Ripper left bodies were marked on the map.
All right. All right.
And Professor, taking soil and water samples from various locations in a large city is just the sort of thing one might do for a megapolisomantic working.
Well, that's unusual because this book, Megapolisomancy, we recently came into has a sort of a recipe, if you will, which involves these sorts of ingredients, to use the analogy.
So he's got the book too?
That book.
Excerpts from it?
Or
Well,
something that's got a similar recipe.
Well, that reduces our chances of being able to use that book as leverage, which was, I think, part of our plan, yeah?
But there are other people involved.
That's true.
I think you may be thinking of a different book, but Hughes. We do not believe he has the true keys, but he may have a copy of Megapolisomancy.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
We've got a copy of Megapolisomancy.
Yes.
I mean, I would assume that with things like that, you can have the same recipe in more than one cookbook.
It's got a different edition or some such.
Mr. Hughes, you are aware that Megapolisomancy, one, there are very few copies of the book extant because the author tried to destroy them all, and Mr. Dives, as far as you know, does not own a copy.
Well, this is going to sound completely insane. So please reserve your judgment based on the things we've all seen this past couple days, right?
Right.
Okay. Maybe that thing that Mag saw him talking to is giving him the recipe from the book, the spell, or whatever.
Could be.
Yes, that does sound crazy.
Well, I told you!
No, that makes perfect sense. Because if he couldn't get it out of a book, he would try to find it some other way.
You saying you believe these recipes are functional?
I don't know what Mag saw, but I was in that office. There's some bloody weird stuff in there. Excuse my language, miss. Sorry. It's not good. Whatever he's up to is not good.
Is it possible he knew you were coming and deliberately put on a show to try and unnerve you?
He didn't know that I was there. He knew somebody was there, and so Shaw figured the jig was up, and he got out and said, you called me, I'm here. And they had their conversation, and I just stayed put. So he, as far as he knew, it was just Shaw.
How'd you get out?
I just ran. He was busy talking to it, and I just ran.
So now he knows it wasn't just me.
I'm sorry. What do you want me to do?
It's all right. We'll figure it out. It's all right. Don't worry about it. That's not a problem for right now.
It could tell that I was there. He didn't know, but it could tell.
I don't know what to believe right now, Max.
You don't believe me?
Maggie, it's all right. It's all right. Look, we didn't see what you saw, clearly. But just take a few deep breaths, because what we did all see was the dock, right?
Right.
So, we know that there are things going on here that we wouldn't have credited a week ago.
That's a fair statement.
Through this conversation, I would like to spend 2 points of psychoanalysis to get Maggie back up a little bit.
Sure. So the soothing tone of Miss Bailey's voice drags you from -4 to 0.
Oh, 4 point. Oh, that's right. Because if she spends,
It's 2 per. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
zero.
Mr. Hughes, can you give me a quick rundown of your stability, sanity, and health at present?
Yes. I have those right here. So my health. Sorry, excuse me. My health. Shaw's health is 3. His stability is -2. And his sanity, by my record, is untouched.
Okay.
So that should put him at 8. Yes, 8.
Okay. Thank you.
The spell.
So, do we still want to try and acquire this book then, or do we want to just, tell Dives the whole matter is off?
Oh, I'm going to acquire this book. The question of whether we give it to Dives is another matter entirely.
Well, though it occurs to me now, Dives may have been lying. It was Fletcher is also interested in it, right? So perhaps we could, when he arrives, I could talk with him, and we have some research areas in common after all.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, I'm assuming Kjell doesn't also think he's a wizard.
I don't. Okay.
So we'll receive news of the location and time of the auction. Between now and then, we need to find out more about our opponents.
What day is it?
Saturday, March 24th, 1934.
Thank you. So we've got 3 days until the ship comes, right? Supposed to pull in on the 27th. Is that right?
Yes.
That is correct. Although ships, because sea travel is a little more dodgy, sometimes they arrive early, sometimes they're late.
We could send a telegram to the ship to ask on their progress, or perhaps even just check in with the authorities. You are muted.
How expensive is a telegram?
I shouldn't worry about it.
Oh.
All right. So we need steps to take. So far, we've got Von Kant, Louis the One-Armed Frog, and who am I missing? What's his name?
Drummel.
Well, Drummel, but he's one of us. He's waiting on his buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Fletcher is the name
Paul
of Drummel.
Fletcher, thank you.
And I heard that was mentioned one other person, but did not tell us the details. Is that correct?
That's the one-armed man, was it? Oh, I wasn't there, never mind.
That is Louis. And Louis is a new name for us.
Is it? Wasn't there a Louis in the notes?
The Castry family?
Yeah, the DeCastries.
Ah.
Ooh, I remembered something. Yay.
The last known descendant of the DeCastries line is, in fact, Louis DeCastries.
Good catch.
I got you.
Except when you abandon her with wizards, but yes.
Well, look. See, it was complicated, okay?
It was.
All right. And so they're looking to reclaim it. All right.
Louis is also not the one who wrote it.
No.
Correct. Thibault DeCastries.
Right.
Yes.
And that's also the person who tried to destroy all the copies of it.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Thibault DeCastries wrote Megapolissomancy. Citus Urbivari Classes used to be a part of the library of the DeCastries family.
Right.
Ah, okay, cool.
Once upon a time. How that makes a leap out of the DeCastries library into the hands of Jack the Ripper, you do not know at present.
Well, that bodes well. Well, the only one we know nothing about is this Louis. Right? So, I can go try and track him down, I guess.
All right.
I shall see if there's been any word from the ship as to its arrival time.
Marvelous. I think I might be paying a visit to Miss Von Kant.
Alone?
Well, I
No.
didn't say that specifically. I just said I'd be paying her a visit. After all, she sent this lovely apology.
You be careful. Don't trust that woman.
Well, I don't trust her either, especially after she's admitted she sent a frog monster up through my basement that I didn't know I had.
A dog. It was a dog.
Wait, what? No. I missed something.
That was a telegram.
A telegram?
There was, from Von Kant, saying she was sorry she'd sent her frog monster up to watch us, and that it had done some damage, but she'd pay for it.
What? I'm sorry, my frog monster attacked you and wrecked your shop. And all she sends is a telegram saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry." What the hell?
I don't think she phrased it quite that way, but
Oh, excuse me, my little frog monster must have. I do apologize if my frog dog monster poison thing caused any offense.
Why don't you have some more tea, Miss McGill?
Could you put some more of that stuff in it?
Just a little bit.
Thank you. Maggie drinks her tea.
Okay. You come over all numb.
Well, that's better.
All right, so we are approaching evening time on the 24th. So, are you are the? I have 3 tasks here. Are you scattering to do those this evening?
Sure.
I certainly am, yes.
Wait a moment. Because first Anne would ask if the basement was secure, and if not, we'll return with Shaw to aid in that as much as possible before anybody.
It is as secure as Mr. Hughes. It is secure as you can make it at present. You will need some way to try and fix that plate that leads out into the sewer so that it doesn't slide anymore. But that involves like maybe soldering it, maybe putting a spike through it in the wall. You're not sure what.
All right.
Taking a broken board and jamming it in there, maybe? Would that...
Presuming it was not shoved with a greater force than it was jammed in.
Oh.
But once that's accomplished, then yes. I'm actually not going to be calling on Ms. Von Kant this evening. So...
Okay. Ms. McGill, did you want to do something? I know you were sounded like you were planning to go with Anne, but if you wanted to stay in the shop and let your nerves calm down and drink some more tea, you could do that too.
That would be an excellent idea.
All right. Then, Professor Handley, you work your way over to the docks, where the cruise ship station. I'm going to learn to talk any minute now. Mr. Handley, beg your pardon, Professor Handley, do you have an investigative ability you would like to use to find the ship timetables and current arrival projections? Let's see. Let me look at your...
No.
Oh, you say that now.
Does this game have bureaucracy?
It does, but Professor Handley does not.
Oh, sad.
Which means one you can rely on, however, is credit rating.
Yeah. I will go to the office and find the person and badger them.
Very good. A few minutes of harassment of a beleaguered clerk. Just a minute, sir. As you said, the Carpentaria. Oh yeah, it was scheduled to arrive on the 27th, but it looks like it's going to arrive tomorrow.
Oh, most excellent. Do you know what time of day? I have a colleague there, which I'm very keen to keep up with.
Projection from the captain puts it in right around supper time.
Well,
5 p.m. tomorrow.
Then he should be with us in time for dinner. Thank you very much, sir, and I bid you good evening.
Of course, sir.
I'll head back and tell everybody that the ship is ahead of schedule.
All right. And Mr. Hughes, how do you intend to find Louis the One-Armed Frog?
Well, I have a last name, which helps. So, with the knowledge, would I know? Well, so they don't maintain any property in London that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of, and the knowledge also tells you that in the current state of affairs, it would not do well for a French family to openly advertise that they own property in London.
Sure. All right, well... I can assume then that he would be moving in low places, even if that's not his actual status, in order to fly under the radar. Following that line of logic, I will go to as many of the dive bars and hole-in-the-wall places where those sorts of people gather.
You're going pub crawling without Maggie. Rude.
Not to drink, for business.
All right.
Maybe a few drinks.
Are you intending to use Streetwise or to spend a point from Streetwise?
I will spend a point from Streetwise.
All right. Spending a point from Streetwise means you find him tonight. And actually, he is maintaining a low profile in the way rich people do. He is checked into a very fine hotel, but it takes some digging for one of the hotel employees at one of the pubs you visit to actually acknowledge, oh yeah, there's a one-armed Frenchman in our place. He's staying in one of the penthouses. Been up there, barely comes out. Maid says he's moved around a lot of the furniture, making space.
Really?
Yep.
All right, well, can you take a message?
Oh, yeah, sure. What do you want to say?
Tell him all right, help me. Tell him what?
I mean, are you trying to intimidate him, or are you trying to like?
I'm not sure. Shaw is a little hesitant to go breaking into another place after the shit that's gone down. So,
especially one where they say they've been moving around the furniture.
Especially, yeah, that trip's a definite red flag.
Yeah. Also, Shaw, you're aware, as you have the law ability, there's an excellent chance DeCastries considers the book to be his property to begin with, that it was stolen from him.
So that's the question. Do I want to provoke him and let him know that we have it and da-da-da-da-da, or...
So my understanding so far is that he doesn't have an agent. He's looking to get the book himself. And since we don't want to sell to dives, you could always suggest that we have a lead and that we might be willing to be his agent in the matter. It's not necessarily truthful, but we're not necessarily good people. So
I'm not here for the truth. So
wasn't he? Hadn't he already contracted the other shop though?
It was Fletcher.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Fletcher's Drummel's man.
Entirely out of character, you could also tell him about Von Kant and get him to try and kill her.
Well, now I don't know. Nah, screw it. Okay, we're gonna... so, tell him that... quick, click the buttons. Wiki, help. Tell him that C.W. Bailey and Son offer their services to locate something that he's interested in. And that we might have some notion as to what that is and where it is, if he's willing to play ball.
All right. You send that message and make your way into the night. Anyone else have anything for the 24th? March the 25th rolls around. Anyone who has health damage regains 2 points. Having not done anything extended that is strenuous.
What about stability for a good night's sleep?
Give me a stability test.
Oh, sure. Ah! Oh. No.
3.
3.
1.
As you are plagued by of the guys, floating eyes, and Mr. Hughes.
No.
You in particular have a nightmare. You're walking through the streets of London, and then London starts to do that Inception thing where it seems to fold in on itself.
Mm.
And as it folds and shapes and moves, you begin to see the outlines of Dives Vesica Piscis overlaying itself over Whitechapel. And then it blinks at you. And the Eye of Byatis looks down upon you. And you don't get any rest at all. And no, none of you regain stability. So, Sunday the 25th. Miss Bailey, is the shop open?
No.
Okay. Then, it is in the early morning at Mr. Hughes's flat that there is a knock at the door.
Jesus. Hey, 1 minute. Comes to the door.
Open the door. There is a 12-year-old boy standing out in front with an envelope in his hand. It says, "Go downstairs, ask me to give this to you."
You realize what time of the morning it is?
Yeah.
Oh, give me that.
He runs away.
Closing the door,
Okay.
I will open the letter.
You open the letter.
Thing.
Well,
Paper.
you've seen both this design and this handwriting before.
Hmm.
There's a pair of lines intersect on the paper, drawn at a different angle than the last one you saw, but the same letters underneath it, talking about Belly and the book and Nodens. And you make a health test.
Yay!
Actually, first give me a sense trouble roll.
Okay.
Tear up the paper.
Sense trouble. Oh boy, my dice are really not with
All
it.
right. Then you're still tired, haven't had your coffee, and you forget what you remembered last time, and you do not hold your breath.
Yay. So now the health test.
Yes, please.
No, thank you. 3. And the answer is 3.
Let's see. Here we are.
Oh, me.
Oh, me.
You begin to suffocate.
Awesome.
The air is ripped out of your lungs. 4 health later, you may take an action if you like. What would you like to do?
The professor's suggestion sounds wonderful. I tear up the paper.
All right. You go to tear up the paper. As you go to tear up the paper, something tries to grab your hands. And this anthropomorphication of the dust has taken shape and begins to grab your hands, and letters blaze in behind it going, "Give me back what was stolen."
Ooh. shouldn't have provoked decastries. Oh well.
So it's going to make a scuffling test.
Ooh. Do I get to oppose that with my scuffle?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
No, it just attacks you. But what's your athletics rating?
6.
6. So it needs a 4 to hit you.
It's average.
It's going to spend 2 points. It's going to get a 5. And so it reaches out after it grabbed your arms. It really just looks like a dust cloud with arms and legs, which is why it's still strangely unsettling when its face seems to sort of emanate outward and slide into your nose and mouth and choke you for 5 health.
I've had nightmares about this very thing. So this is not fun. Okay, so I'm at -4 now. Remind me what that means?
That means you're hurt.
Uh-huh.
Same rules as shaken. Can't
Okay.
spend for investigative things. All your difficulties go up by 1.
Ugh, okay, cool.
What would you like to do?
Leave the house.
Well, so the first thing that I like to do that I failed to do the first time because I'm dumb is start holding my breath.
Okay.
Now that it's trying to get in me. Not with
Oh,
that.
well, so,
I guess I can't really stop it.
yeah,
I'm not breathing it.
bluntly speaking, it's in you.
Yeah, okay, great.
So I believe one of your comrades did make a suggestion.
Which was?
So
Get out. It's location based.
yes,
Oh, that's right. It didn't chase us out of. Okay. My house. All right. Well, how'd I go?
all right. Give me an athletics test to escape the grappling paramental.
Sure.
Let's see. We're gonna call that. It's got an athletics of 8, so we're gonna call it difficulty 5 plus 1 is. So you need a 6.
So I am shaken both mentally and physically. Does that stack?
Oh, it does. So your
Yay.
difficulty is 7.
7. Okay. So we're gonna spend, let's say, 4 from athletics.
Okay.
Just to let me make a note of that before I forget to. 2 out of 6. Oh boy. Okay, and then
No.
And then I'm gonna roll 2. This is not the die. Okay, no, not that one. This one. Not this one.
All right.
Okay. Here we go.
So I would like the other 3 bookhounds to please give me a sense trouble roll. Oh, we lost Jen. Which is unfortunate because I know her sense trouble is pretty good.
So if I spend points, I get to add to the roll, right?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm going to spend 2 points, and I get 5 plus 2 is 7.
All right. There she is. Hello.
Hello.
We're making sense. The bookhounds who are not being choked to death by the air in the room are making sense trouble rolls.
Okay.
6.
6.
3.
3. All right. So, Professor that makes a certain amount of sense. Professor Handley and Miss Bailey, as you are going through your morning activities, some things sort of in that way that in the morning drift together in places. And so the Decastries owned this book, which apparently has some sort of relationship to Make a Polysomancy if Thibault Decastries went on to write that book. And you had one person who wasn't accounted for, and nothing that you've seen has told you that Von Kant or Dives were the sort of people. Dives maybe, but neither of them had shown interest in creating geometric spells that choked people to death. And Dives didn't know who actually had the book, which means that the most likely candidate is the person that you sent Mr. Hughes to go find. And thus, you are inclined to go check in on Mr. Hughes this morning. Professor, you are the first to arrive, passing this young urchin dashing out of the tenement where Mr. Hughes lives. And as you go up and you approach and you go to knock on the door, you hear the sounds of choking behind the door.
Good God. I will try and open the door as quickly as possible.
You throw open the door, and you see Shaw Hughes, eyes blood red, veins bulging like he's and clawing at his throat. And you see the anthropomorphic dust cloud with its face seeping into his and blazing letters behind him going, "Give back what was stolen." If you could please give me a stability test.
Oh, boy.
For starters.
All right.
Oh, Mr. Hughes, if you wouldn't mind giving me a stability test, having been nearly asphyxiated so far by this thing.
Sure.
Oh.
Yes, that'll be a 3.
3.
Oh,
Okay.
Right.
So,
I need
Mr.
new
Hughes,
dice.
you will lose 2 stability.
Oh, good. I'll add it to the pile.
Because, interestingly enough, this is a supernatural thing, but not a mythos thing. And the face, even as it's emanating into Mr. Hughes' face, does turn to look at the professor.
So I kind of know what this is from my reading of the book, maybe?
Well, you can see that Mr. Hughes is holding a paper that looks very much like the one they brought back.
Okay.
From Ms. Bauer's estate.
I will shout at the thing, "We don't have it!" And then try and grab him and drag him out.
Okay, give me an athletics test.
So no rank, so just a straight roll,
Okay.
right?
Right? 4. You manage to grab him and pull him back. And I will also tell you with occult that you have, and since you've been reading Megapolissomancy, that paramental entities are vulnerable to pure objects like silver. But you do manage to yank him out and shut the door. Mr. Hughes, you can breathe again.
I will slap him on the cheek. Hughes. Hughes.
Professor?
Let's be onto the store. We were wondering why you went there. Oh, well. It occurred to me that... Yeah, let's go.
So can I be driving up outside with the company car at this moment?
Absolutely. Suspecting that there may be trouble, you pull up in the rickety van as the professor and Mr. Hughes are walking out of the tenement. And yes, Mr. Hughes is in a bad way.
I won't even stop the car. I'm sorry, I meant I won't stop the engine, not I would drive by.
You guys have fun.
Miss Bailey just nopes right out of there. Y'all are on your own.
Excelsior!
All right, so the two of you pile into the van and you drive on, and that is where we're going to take our break.
Okay.
Okay. No, very little about that was okay, but sure.
Yeah. This is tricky because now the professor's had direct personal first-hand evidence of a thing that he would have discounted previously and did discount previously as you guys being...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, So
Yeah.
we will pick this up in 10 minutes
Okay.
and see where it goes from there. All right, Professor Cuthbert will be back with us in just a few dog walking minutes, but we can pick up in the van. Miss Bailey, are you intending to go visit Miss Von Kant today?
Well, yes, but we might have something to deal with first.
Sure. So you were on your way to see Miss McGill when the thought of Miss McGill brought up her cousin, which took you over to his house, and now you're on your way over to her house with her cousin in the back, trying not to choke to death.
All right, what happened? Sound?
Boy brought me a paper. The thing found same thing we saw at the other flat, the first one we checked out. Tried to suffocate me.
Now, why would that be?
I don't know. That I didn't sleep well, and now this.
All right.
I had just gotten up. I was gonna come see you because I found our man.
Did you know?
The Louis. He's staying at X Hotel. Never got the name of, I think.
Right. What did you learn other than his location? Anything?
I didn't check him out. I figured it was in our best interest that I left him a message to let him know that maybe we had eyes on the thing he wanted, and that if we were to act as his agents in the matter, that would benefit everybody.
So, you sent a message to him and then you got attacked?
Well, I guess. I didn't get attacked by a person.
Well, no, but you did.
Alright, so you think that this De Castries fellow is also some sort of geometric wizard person? Well, that explains why he would have gone after... Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Well, to a point. Because it wouldn't make a lot of sense if what you said was, we might know where the book is. And these things are looking for the book. To then try and kill you. That seems silly.
It was in me. I was breathing it.
I think that's a bit more than I needed to know. Sounds personal. Now,
And with that, you pull up in front of the block of flats where Maggie McGill resides.
You stay here for another minute. I'll go and fetch Maggie. I go and fetch Maggie.
Okay.
Maggie comes to the door and says, I'm sorry, I must have overslept. Just give me a minute.
All right, but don't take too long. Something has happened to your cousin. He's down in the car.
What happened? What happened?
Get ready and
All
come.
right. She gets ready, she goes down.
Okay. And now
We
the whole
reach-
party's in the van.
Yay.
The mystery machine.
We have a cat, not a dog, and we did not bring it.
So you don't look so good.
Thanks.
What?
He encountered another one of those things that you saw that killed the woman.
The dust thing.
Oh, so just the dust thing. Well, that's good.
No.
I mean, it's not good. It's not good, but
not.
it's of all the things that you could have seen.
I didn't just see it.
It was. I take it was
It
trying
almost
to.
killed me.
It was trying like it was when
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd just gotten up. I didn't think it through. Boy was at the door, handed me the paper. I didn't think anything of it.
So you think it's Dives that did that then?
No, I don't think so.
No? Why not?
I think it's the Castries. I think it's Louis.
How's he know where you live? I mean, not that Dives would know where you live either, but
Yeah, I didn't give the man an address, but I thought it would be in our best interest to offer our services to him since he's acting
Right.
without an agent. So I left a message at the hotel he's staying at for him.
okay, so he's a wizard too.
I really don't like that word anymore.
It just seems like it's a little bit more serious than a magician.
Sure. Point is, I think he tried to kill me. Now, I'm not terribly clear as to why, but here we are.
Yeah, why would he do that? This doesn't make. I mean, I guess to eliminate the competition.
Does that mean then that he's already got leads on the book? Do we need to be concerned about this auction that's going to happen?
You do recall that Mr. Bowers mentioned Louis as one of the people who was attending the auction.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right. So he thinks he can eliminate the competition. Although it still strikes me as a sort of mad way of acting. He's trying to kill the person who had the book. He thought had the book. He's trying to kill the people who might get the book.
Also, I think it's weird because I left the message not with my name,
But with the name.
with the name of the shop. So why target me specifically? I guess because I know where he is now? He thought to remove me before I tell you where he is? I'm not sure. It's all a bit weird. It's all a lot weird.
It's a lot weird.
So you gave him the name of the shop then?
Right. So that he could contact us if he was interested.
No, I understand. I'm just...
Should we be getting back to the shop?
Please.
That we should. She can't. In the blood says no. Also, it's one of my Y'all have pubs.
Mm-hmm.
My source of stability is the shop, so I'm concerned.
Yeah.
As you should be. We're all a little concerned. I think it's safe to say.
I have some concerns.
Sorry, where are we now?
We're still in the car. We've collected Maggie, and we're just talking about Louis attacking.
Yeah. Apologies for the delay. Pills take forever to give. Back. And then the cat was being...
A cat.
Yeah, a cat with a dog.
Nope, can't hear you.
All right. Your initial plan was to go see Mrs. Von Kant. Where are you headed?
To the shop.
All right. You drive up to the shop, park, walk around to the front, and there is an envelope through the mail slot.
Nope.
Front.
Don't open that. Do not open that. Don't do it. Do we have a... Well...
Does the envelope look like the one that was sent to you?
Yes.
Okay.
We should probably...
This is the one. Don't...
We should probably burn it. At least I don't believe that would be a bad thing, right?
If held up to the light, like... We have electric lighting, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If held up to the light, what is...
It looks like a folded piece of notepaper. You can't read any of the writing on it.
Okay. Yep, burn it. Burn it. Burn it right now. Who's got... Give me a... I'm burning.
Maggie has a lighter.
Professor Handley,
Yes.
I need you to give me a magic test.
Ooh.
Why do you have that?
Right, team.
Professor.
Also, Professor Handley, so you know that in order to prevent this thing from coming out and trying to choke you all to death, you need to be able to burn it pretty much the whole thing all at once.
Mm-hmm.
However, you also have a drive of curiosity.
Yeah.
So, this, however, does not immediately advance the plot, so we're going to call this a soft driver. So, you may make a magic test to burn this, but it's going to cost you 2 stability to burn knowledge without looking at it first.
Ooh.
Says, if we... Let us... For the moment, this is safely contained, and I propose we dispose of it in a safe way.
Yeah,
which,
burn it.
Wait. Because of the nature of the object, at least if we are going to act on the assumption that this is truthful, and that this is what would, if opened, precipitate an event, then we must burn it all at once. That is to say, we shall require a larger fire. And I suggest that we go somewhere where we can make a larger fire, and then at the appropriate time, I will lead the disposal efforts.
What?
Yes.
So we just
Now
need a big fire to burn it all at once. Is what you're saying?
It's what I said.
Okay.
Why do you know that?
Well, it was in the book, of course.
It was in the book. Alright, great. Now the professor's a wizard too.
No. I just read the book because it is coming up a lot in these last few days, yeah.
Well,
I also know that again, if we accept the apocrypha as true, then certain pure materials according to the, I guess, the pillars of nonsense that is alchemy are
Pillars of
allegedly
nonsense, huh?
yes, are it is vulnerable to. So if we might have some pure objects of, for example, silver or other transition metals.
What the hell's a transition metal?
Well, it's in between the groups 2 and 3 of the periodic table. There is when you get to it's easiest if I show you later. Do you have any silver?
Do I look?
No, not you. Not, I mean, do we as a collective have any silver?
Miss Bailey, your tea service has silver spoons.
Okay. I was about to pull my preparedness, but sure.
We can just thwack them with.
Now, let us check the watermark to make sure they truly are silver.
Literally, why a spoon, cousin?
When he goes to test the silver, Anne just looks really offended.
Oh yeah.
They are, in fact, pure silver.
Very well.
So what? Spoons is it now?
Unless, Mr. Hughes, you happen to have any other pieces of silver handy,
No.
or perhaps you are now of the opinion that we can just do whatever and it will be fine, and we don't need to adhere to this methodology.
Okay, how big of a fire do you need?
Well, large enough that I shouldn't want to do this in the shop.
We got a furnace, haven't we?
I don't know.
Right? Rich? Furnace?
Well, you have a couple of stoves.
Okay.
This being not originally a full building unto itself, but a part of another building.
All right. So. Okay. Fine. You're holding the envelope, Professor. You
Yes.
get to have it.
Yes.
I want nothing to do with it. I'll light the fire. So
what now?
Okay.
Shaw, having been standing this whole time, takes a seat very heavily.
Yeah. So we go. How is the? So we have stoves. How is the? Is this kitchen area ventilated?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then we can use the stoves. Let me fetch some equipment from my apartment.
Maggie gets her flask of gin and unscrews it and hands it to Shaw.
If he comes back with a bunch of candles and chalk, I'm gonna...
Oh, incidentally, Mr. Hughes, as long as we're talking about drives and drivers, if the effort is made, if you acquire the book and there is no effort made to sell the book, that would qualify as a hard driver.
Yeah, I figured maybe that was gonna...
Be an issue.
I see it. It's on the table.
Okay, so here is what I would like to do. The professor is going to go home and he is going to get 2 pairs of long tongs and 2 pairs of heavy heat-resistant gloves.
Okay.
Then we're going to come back. We're going to put a fire on the stove.
Okay. While you're out,
Okay.
a telegram arrives at the shop. The same officious-looking fellow from yesterday is knocking at the door.
We are all concerned about being handed envelopes now.
Maggie will go to the door and say yes.
Apologies, Sunday service. They paid a little extra. Here you go.
Oh, they've already paid a little extra. Good to know. Thanks. She takes it and closes the door.
He looks a little crestfallen. Walks away.
Ouch. Well, what can you do?
I'm assuming this is our German friend.
You open it up? No. It says 17 Black Lion Yard, 3rd floor. Bring cash or sign in blood. Bowers. Oh, 7 p.m.
Maggie reads it and hands it to reads it aloud and then hands it over to Anne.
Well, I think you need to get in touch with our theoretical client. We've an option.
Do you mean Dives? Or
I do. He's backing us. We can't go in without it.
Oh, and Maggie, Shaw, that address, the knowledge tells you, is right in the dead center of the eye.
So, I have a bad feeling about this.
I don't like it either. But it is a lot of money.
But we're not going to get any of it, are we? I mean,
Yeah,
what are the odds that we're really going to be able to outbid them?
That's why we need Dives.
As you're having this conversation, the professor returns.
I don't like the idea of giving that man more magic.
I didn't say we were, but we need him to back us in the auction.
No, wait, so we're going to have him back us in the auction, and then we get the book and don't give it to him.
See, I will get that book.
Well, yes, ma'am.
I will acquire that book.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Well, the professor has returned, apparently with the stuff to start a barbecue.
There we are. Regular working man's tools. That's... Thank you. None of this wax and boogity nonsense. Shall I start the stove?
Very good.
Yeah, very good.
Now, Mr. Hughes, I have some strict instructions for you.
All right.
Okay. He hands you a pair of heavy gloves. Put these on.
All right.
He's not opening it.
No,
You're
I know.
opening it.
Yes, that's why I also have a pair of heavy gloves. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to light the stove.
All right.
I am going to, using these tongs, place said note in the fires.
Okay.
You are also going to, just in case anything untoward should go and to assuage perhaps the anxieties of the day, take this silver spoon in your hands, and if anything happens, you just do what you do best.
With the spoon. All right.
Yes.
Fine.
Does this make sense?
Do you want me to
Okay.
be on spoon duty? Would that make you feel better?
Well, actually, I was wondering, Ms. McGill or Miss Bailey, do either of you have any experience with a camera taking of pictures?
No. Do we have to document this for science?
To be fair, I think you did in the first section produce a camera with.
Yeah, you're right. I did.
Preparedness.
That's true.
I have also brought a camera. I would very much like someone to take a photo at the moment, just in case that gives us any.
For posterity's sake, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And just in case well, as you said yourself, had this happened a week ago, we would not have given it any credence. So it's photography can't be faked, you know.
Yes, no.
Are you ready?
I've got my gloves and my spoon. I guess.
Very good, Miss McGill.
Yeah.
I've got one hand to my chest as though so I keep it inside my dress, but I've got a crucifix.
Yeah. Figured he did.
Now, I will count down from 3.
Just throw it in, will you?
I just want to make sure you take the photo at the correct moment. As I said, I shall count down from 3. 3, 2, 1, go. And on go is when I wish you to discharge. Ready? Hughes, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, stand over the other side. You'll blow up the shot.
All right.
Thank you. Here's what I would like to do, because obviously, out of character, the professor wants to destroy it, but he just is very curious as to what exactly happens. So just before he lowers it with the tongs into the fire, he's going to open it a smidgen just to see what happens, and then put it in the fire. And that's why Shaw's got the spoon.
Mute.
You're on mute, Rich.
You're muted.
Well then.
Just an instant before putting it in the fire, just going to open it a little bit.
So, in order to time this correctly, that's going to be a magic test, difficulty 5.
I will spend a point.
How many do you have?
It's 1.
Oh, okay.
So, in the professor's ideal world, what happens is, at the instant the thing is open and in flames, a photo is taken.
Okay.
Okay, I roll 5 plus 1, 6.
All right. So you do manage to get it slightly open and on fire in a timely fashion. Miss McGill.
Yes.
Can you give me...
I don't have photography.
Can I spend points of photography in order to have given her some preparedness in it?
I will let her make a preparedness roll based on your instructions. Don't spend any points on it. Just see it. The difficulty's not that high since he rolled well. It's whether or not you get a good picture of it.
Okay.
So go ahead and just roll d6. So you take a picture, and you'll get it developed eventually, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Boy, the
I mean, realistically, in 1934, it was not a fast exposure, right?
Right.
So.
Okay. So you have burned the letter. You have an auction date, time, and location. You have, we're going to say it is now about 10 o'clock in the morning. So you have about 9 hours before the auction. What would you like to do between now and then?
I would like to get a photograph developed.
She tosses you the camera. Knock yourself out.
You get a picture of the bright light of the flame and no real detail on the object in question. Please go ahead and erase to stability, as you have destroyed knowledge, never to be seen again.
Oh well, I tried. Okay.
We're all broken, man. It's okay.
Anybody else?
I'm gonna. I don't have. I have some first aid, so I'm gonna spend some time self-care.
Okay.
Self-care time.
I was I was recently almost choked to death by a dust demon. I think. Can I go home?
So self-care is 1 for 1. So for every point you spend, you restore 1 point of health.
Okay, well that's not. I mean,
It could be worse.
2 is better than none, so I'll take it. First aid, spending 2.
Okay.
The professor, since he is feeling dejected, would like to go to his source of stability, the milk bar, and commiserate with a glass of milk and a book.
Maybe chocolate milk, just
Ooh.
to mix it up a little, you know.
Right. Anyone else?
Did you want to go talk to Brigitte?
And don't forget, Miss Bailey had mentioned someone needs to go talk to Dives.
Yeah, somebody needs to.
How long does my first aid stuff take?
Matter of minutes.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'll still go. I can still go.
Okay.
Would you like Professor to come with you?
If the professor wants to come, sure.
I think it's better that we not go by ourselves.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, so the professor and Mr. Hughes are going to see Dives, and Anne and Maggie are going to see Brigitte von Kant. Is that what I
are we? You made a face.
We're doing what?
Well, it's just a question of how much use that is at this point, or whether.
We can certainly go and give her the bill for the damages to the shop.
Oh, I can, but I don't. We don't need to go there today for that. I mean,
there's also the distinct possibility you'll see her tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
but after tonight, she may not be in the mood to to reimburse us.
I have her written word that she's reimbursing us. Which is just about as good as we're gonna get.
I don't think.
Let's see, that's been burned, and that's been. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything. I'm looking at my skills.
Okay. You guys think about it for a minute. Mr. Hughes, Professor Handley, you head over to Mr. Dives' Pimlico address, catching him returning from church.
Holy man, is he?
Good morning.
Morning. We have some news.
Why don't you come in, please? He brings you in. The butler serves some drinks. News?
Yeah. We have a date. There's an auction tonight.
Oh, excellent.
We believe Bowers has the book, and we require your financial backing to attend.
Oh, of course. He pulls open a drawer and actually pulls out one of a stack of letters and hands it to you. You have my full faith and credit and backing.
Yes, sir. Have you heard anything?
Should I have?
I really do not know.
Oh. Well, then I don't think so. No.
Assess honesty?
He appears to be deliberately keeping his distance from this. So no, if
Okay.
Unless so nothing has explicitly happened to him.
Well, Hughes, if you're not going to ask, then I shall.
Yes.
I hear we might have read some of the same books, and I'd be very interested in learning more about that.
Can you be more specific, Professor?
I can always be more specific. One volume I'm thinking of in particular is Megapolis by one Tybalt de Castries.
I am familiar with the tome, but have never read it myself.
Oh, really?
My understanding that Monsieur de Castries burned all his copies.
That is the popular understanding, although I do not believe it to be entirely correct based on my personal experience.
That's you.
Yes.
Refused. Might understand that your shop may have a copy for sale.
No.
Ah.
But what you might understand is... Keep your face. De Castries is also interested in this volume, The True Keys. And
Tybalt de Castries is dead.
No, Louis de Castries, his descendant.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that he at least believes that the techniques discussed in said volume are efficacious.
He may have cause.
Well, I couldn't say a thing about that either way.
Has he threatened you?
Not directly.
Well, he's threatened Hughes. The man does not obviously always look like this, does he?
I do not traffic enough with Mr. Hughes or his kind to say one way or the other.
Well, I have big experience with this one. Is he's a cousin of a coworker of mine. He's named after a vegetable, I suppose. So
The point
is, Dives, is you want to watch out for yourself, and should you have others scholarly interests in this direction, then depending on how this auction turns out, I might be interested in some of your volumes.
Well, the simplest method I might recommend to you is to apply for membership in the Pomander Club, which would grant you access to the tomes that I have added to their library. But that is a discussion for another time.
Yes, maybe we can talk about it.
In exchange for your distress, and if Miss Bailey would be willing to consider perhaps acquiring me the copy of Megapolis, I will be increasing your fee.
all right.
Was there anything else?
Well, we shall hopefully be back to you with some good news pursuing to this auction.
When is the auction?
Tonight, 7
Ah.
o'clock.
Well then, after you acquire the book, if you bring it to me at the Pomander Club, I will take it off your hands and out of your lives.
Thank you kindly, sir. Have a good day.
You as well.
I don't like this.
And Maggie, plans? Or just going to wait for the auction?
Well, sorry, I got distracted by that conversation. Wait, what? What's happening?
Because hashtag wizard.
Professor just wants to get some knowledge.
Yep. But now we need to kill that man. or get someone to do it for us. Okay. Shoot. So I'm trying to think if we have anything besides the
Do we have anything that she wants?
Well, no, in terms of texts, just in general.
Is the squares per story or per session?
Per session.
Oh.
So
you could use bibliography to try and identify which books she's been shopping around for in other places.
Yes. Are there more books? Crud. All right. I mean,
there are always more books.
I know, but relevant ones. I don't know if I want any more. Yeah, let's do that, I guess.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and spend bibliography.
All right. You spend a bibliography point. You spend a little time going through your catalog. You have to do a little legwork, so this is going to take you most of the rest of the day because bookshops are closed. But you know a few places to go, and it turns out you have a text that Mrs. Von Kant is looking for. Would you like to define it, or would you like me to?
Oh, if I have to define it, I need time.
Okay.
If you have something in mind, please do.
I do.
Oh, well, then let's do that.
It is a book. It is a book you find because it's been out on the desk, along with a couple of the texts that Professor Handley has been pulling down. It is a translation of a German book. Title of the book. The title of the book in English is Nameless Cults.
Nameless what?
Cults.
Thank you.
I know someone else who has a copy of that.
Your camera froze for a second, Andy, with your eyes like huge.
Really creepy, yeah.
Yeah, that was really quality. All right, so I mean, I don't know what. It's great that she wants this, and yeah, we could make some money off it. But can we use this?
Well, it depends on. Sorry, we don't actually know that we need him dead yet, so I can't go down that road.
Right. Well, I believe Maggie has said that.
Yeah.
That.
So back at the store, Mr. Hughes and Professor Handley have returned.
Right, because it took all day for us to
Right.
figure that out. Right. So, what do you say?
We have his full backing. He's not coming. We are representing him.
And so mechanically, the way an auction works is this is what's called a dramatic single lot auction, presuming Bowers doesn't have other books to sell, which means it will be one auction roll, a contested roll among all the bidders.
Ugh.
You use your auction rating, plus the credit rating of your store, plus you guys have 3 extra credit rating points for favors you've done for dives over the course of the story.
Okay.
And before you launch into this discussion of what's going to happen next, I will point out that gaining an understanding of the evil going around and how some people seem to be living with it more comfortably than you do, Miss Bailey. This seems like a really dangerous and exciting thing that you might not make it out of live, Miss McGill.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes, the amount of money that the figure you have in mind for what he's going to have to pay you in order to get the book and salve your conscience is rather astronomical at this point. Oh, and Professor Handley, this book that you're attempting to buy tonight is apparently the book that Megapolissomancy came from. So all of you
we're good.
must go to the auction as a hard driver.
I'm going to get
Please
the
carry on.
Is there any way, so in the first session, I forget exactly what happened, but I made a good roll, and I got an extra squiz.
Yes.
That was unnamed and to be used at a later date. Is there any way I can sell that for extra credit, that I can move that today to get another point of credit?
I would say spend a point of bargain and it's yours.
All right.
Okay, so you have a total of 4 additional credit rating points to your store's credit rating, plus all your points in auction. That's your pool to spend from on what's going to be one roll of the dice.
Which for the rest of the party is 8. My auction is 8.
Nice.
I ain't got no auction. That's not my scene.
No, that's what I do.
Are you the only one who has auction?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Red.
Is there anything else we can do to try and increase our current stability before the auction?
No.
Okay, and just so I know, is now stability 0 means cannot spend points in all difficulties of 1 higher, right?
I believe that's at -1.
-1, okay, good.
Yes, you are relatively stable compared to some of us. I'm still in the negatives. I'm still in a bad way.
I have one more point of psychoanalysis I can spend to try and stabilize you before the final. Yeah.
It'll help me a little, but it won't take me out of shaken, so I don't know if you want to blow it. I don't know what other use.
That's per story, right? Or per, not per session, but per story.
Yes.
So, but we're approaching the auction, right?
But
yes.
You may need it to get us out of there.
I need psychoanalysis to get you out of there?
You might need it. So you also use psychoanalysis to get people who are stunned or mind blasted or otherwise crazy to act normally for a round.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I can maybe save one person.
Right, which is why that 1 point might be important.
I would keep it, yeah, just in case.
You're not going to get me out of shaken, so there's no...
Yeah.
I'm just going to be not okay.
All right, then.
Ad nauseum.
Anything else? Then, 17 Black Lion Yard is a narrow tenement. The 4 of you move up creaking stairs past rooms that you don't hear anything behind. This is an apartment building. No one appears to live here. And in a small, windowless, stifling room lit by a gas bracket and then some violet light pouring through a murky skylight, Ambrose Bowers sits at a table. He's got a black cloth laid out. He has a Gladstone bag at his feet. On the table is a book with a black Morocco leather cover and a scratch across the front of it. A lancet and some paper and a pen. Also here Here, when you get here, is Aston Drummel. He is accompanied by two other figures. One is a guy who's quite clearly uncomfortable and a little sweaty in here. He's thin, looks like he hasn't shaved in a while. It's sort of a hunted look to his face. The other, towering over the both of them and standing behind, trying to look menacing, is Malik Magwitch.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, that puts that piece of the puzzle together.
Also here is a short, kind of dumpy guy with a little toothbrush mustache, slicked back hair, and missing an arm.
I'll probably gasp a little when I see him. Involuntarily.
Evan has a fanboy meltdown.
And about 2 minutes after you arrive, Birgit von Kant walks in.
I nod coolly to her.
She puts on her best smile and goes, "We'll talk later."
Jesus.
All right.
Can I say that I have brought Anne's spoon in my pocket just in case?
Make a preparedness roll since it's already a thing that's in the game. Difficulty 2.
Can I spend a point to definitely win?
Absolutely.
I will do that.
All right. You have a spoon.
Congrats.
Right. So this is going to be a fair bid, just like any doff place up like at Sotheby's or anything like that. You'll either sign your check or you'll sign in blood before anybody leaves. I'm going to get my money. That much I know. Right. Let's open the bidding then. All right. Bidding starts going back and forth. And you get ready to make a die roll.
So, Anne is a cool character when she's bidding. She's just no expression.
Poker face.
Yes.
So the roll. Oh well. Okay.
Before you roll, you need to tell me how many points you're spending.
I was gonna say. I think you get to spend. I think you should spend.
I just presumed we were spending everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pull it all. Sure.
Is it one roll? Just one roll?
It's one roll.
One roll.
Is there any reason why we would not just spend everything?
I can't.
Well, if you lose, if you win by spending everything and then are unable for whatever reason to sell the book to Dives, you've just put all of the credit of the store on the line.
Yes, but that's why we need Dives to die.
Oh my god.
After paying.
Exactly.
All right. So,
Okay.
I have everybody else's roll.
I mean, the roll I made was a 5. Plus, so if we are agreed that we're going all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. We
That gives
spend it
you-
all.
So 8 auction,
Yes.
and then like 6 credit rating total or 7 credit rating total.
What's our store? Our store is 3?
It's 3, and you got an additional 4.
That was what I was asking.
Right.
Our store is 3? Okay. So, yeah.
So that gives
7.
you a total of 20.
Yes.
Are you having a drum roll?
And the bidding ends. Going once, going twice. Sold to C.W. Bailey and Company. And
Very
a
good,
couple of
Bailey.
things happen all at once.
All at once.
All
Yep.
at once. Yeah.
And out come the guns.
Yep.
So, first, Louis de Castries actually, he sighs and he hangs his head. He shakes his shoulders, and starts to walk out. Birgit von Kant looks at you with a congratulatory smile.
No, Louis is about to blow up the building.
Yeah.
Oh no. The person about to blow up the building, that would be Paul Fletcher, standing next to Aston Drummle, who collapses into sobbing, throws his head to the sky, and says, "Serpent-bearded Byatis, O ravening eye, turn thy gaze upon me and destroy me!" And he pulls out a bomb, "as thou hast destroyed sons!" And he goes to light the bomb. So, what are we doing?
So, I tackle him? Yes.
Right.
Anybody else want to do something?
Yes.
Or do we want to see how this plays out?
I would like to do something.
What would you like to do, Professor?
My professor has 5 points of explosives. Can he tell when the bomb is bandaged anything useful about it?
It will definitely explode. It's a Mills bomb.
Let me go to Google. Oh.
Oh.
How far away is he from us?
Not far. It's a small room.
Okay, so my understanding based on a quick Google is that a Mills bomb is just a hand grenade with a pin.
Yep.
Do I know the approximate blast radius of said bomb?
Oh, it'll kill everyone in the room.
Is there any furniture nearby to...
There's the table. Give me an action.
He says, get behind the table. It's our only hope. And knocks the table over and dives behind it.
Okay. Anybody else joining him behind the table?
Can I get a quick recap of what I missed while I was frozen?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So you won the auction.
Yep.
And
Paul.
Yeah, Mr. Fletcher pulled out a bomb.
Yep.
And Hughes is about to try and tackle him. And the professor is trying to dive behind a table. What would you like to do?
How close are we to the door?
A couple of steps, certainly within an action's worth of being out of the door.
Would that not be better in terms of cover?
Possibly, but you certainly don't have time to discuss prospects. What would you like to do?
I'm going to grab Anne's hand and run for the door.
Okay. Anne?
The book is still on the table.
Yep.
Well,
What's Bowers doing?
The book's on the table. Oh.
Bowers is frozen in panic.
I need the book.
Okay.
I won the book.
So,
I need the book.
Let's do this in order. Miss Bailey, do you have athletics or filch or something that would allow you to snatch a thing?
No.
Okay, then you're going to go last.
Cool.
Miss McGill, would you like to roll athletics now to drag Miss Bailey out of the room?
Oh, I want to change my mind because I've got so much filch that I spent.
So you can change your mind, but then you don't do anything.
Moment's hesitation.
Yeah, shit. I guess I'm gonna I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Here, let me help. Let me help.
Anne is clearly going for the book, and you're like, but no.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Professor, you're trying to knock over the table. Give me an athletics test.
Sorry.
5.
No, he's knocking my book on the floor.
Yes.
Yep. The book and the lancet both scatter to the floor. And last, but by no means least,
Oh, yes.
Mr. Hughes, will you give me a scuffling test?
Can do. Yes, sirree, Bob. I'm gonna go ahead and spend.
Difficulty is 4.
Okay, so I'll spend 2
Okay.
in my track record this session. Okay, so that gives me a total of oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm shaken. So that negates my shake. Oh, so 5. So we're good.
Yep. So, bam! You tackle him before he is able to unpin the bomb. And you are immediately assisted by Mallet Megwitch, who curb stomps Paul Fletcher into the floor.
Ooh.
Give me a stability test.
Yeah, sure.
As some of Paul Fletcher gets on your face.
I wanted to make friends with the guy.
Total of 2 with my shaken condition.
Oh, well, that will be 3 points of stability.
And at what point does this start getting... So I think I am mind blasted at this point.
You're -7, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as the viscera hits you, just the whole thing of today, you were leaping at certain death. You stopped certain death, but now you have this person's head in your eyes, and it's just too much.
Joy.
And that's all that happens. The table is reset. Miss Bailey signs some documents and passes over the letter of credit. The book is placed in the Gladstone bag and it is handed to you. The other people involved in this walk out quietly. Mr. Fletcher will be staying in the room.
Maggie's going to go check on Shaw.
Shaw is...
She's going to hand him the flask.
He doesn't even take it.
Whoa.
He is... So the scene that I have in my head right now is that he tackled Fletcher to the floor, and so he's just kind of like on his hands and knees next to the body, looking at the floor, eyes wide, blood-splattered face, breathing heavily, not moving.
And Mallet wears these like heavy work boots, so it looks a little like the end of the fight between the serpent and the mountain.
Oh!
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
As you're picking up the bag, Aston Drummel's on his way out. He looks at you, Miss Bailey, goes, "Nice touch. Catch you later."
All right. Now what?
You have Caedus Urbi Verae Claves.
We're going to go home. We're going to get Shaw cleaned up. And then we're going to think about this.
Yes. Let me may I see the book?
I hand him the book as I go to check on Shaw.
Okay. Mr. Hughes, the text is actually so it's a series of plates and diagrams about various geometric things as they relate to the occult, and it's all in Latin, which you can read, but you would have to sit and really dig into this for like days, if not weeks on end, in order to tease out the myriad information within. However, you also recall, which Mr. Hughes may not be able to share with us at the moment, what Mr. Dives told you to do after acquiring the book. So, Anne and Maggie, you are around Shaw, who is sort of shaking back and forth, rocking a little bit.
You
remember that point?
Yeah, yeah. That's where we are. So I'm gonna talk quietly. It's all right. Look, we did it. It's done now. This doesn't matter. Got the book. Let's get out of here.
Give me a psychoanalysis test, difficulty 4.
Spending that last point.
All right.
6.
Mr. Hughes, you're able to move in sort of a zombie fugue-like state, but you are able to respond normally. You will have some trouble initiating conversation, but you can respond. You're right now. You're in shock.
Stand up, job, Hughes. You did. You're the reason we're alive. Well done, Jeb.
Yeah. Right.
Quietly, out of his earshot, to Maggie. I'm not sure if any of them be coming after us now.
Oh yes, I think that's a. We're staying at the shop tonight.
So, let's get everyone to the car.
Yes. Maggie checks the car to make sure when they get out there to make sure the brake line's not cut or anything.
The car looks fine.
Okay.
I'm going to regret doing this, but it's a pulp adventure. Does anyone take the bomb? It's still there.
Oh yes, I'll take it.
Okay.
I have a suggestion, everybody. Why don't we take the take a trip to Oxford tonight and stay with some of my friends, and they can help us. I'll help Mr. Hughes with the book. I mean the
that would not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I know. I'll telephone ahead and get them to set up some rooms.
All right, but I need to go check on my shop before we go.
All right.
All right, so you drive back across town. You get to your shop. It is currently locked up tight. Doesn't appear to be anything going on inside.
Stop in and feed the cat and drive on by.
Okay. As you're feeding the cat, getting ready to walk out, your phone rings.
Well, I'll answer it.
Ah, Miss Bailey, good. I trust everything worked out satisfactorily. I was given to understand that the auction was this evening.
What were we supposed to do with the book?
I don't think he told us.
Yes, it did. Bring it to the Commander Club afterward.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just had a call from my bank telling me a letter of credit was dropped off in my name.
It was. We've got it.
Excellent. Please bring it to me.
Well, now we've some difficulties. I think we're being followed. And I have a need to see to my own safety.
I will guarantee your safety.
You can't guarantee my safety on my way.
I can guarantee your safety should you make it to the club. That would be your affair.
Exactly the point. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm seeing it to my people.
I would like to see you before midnight. Please.
I hang up.
Okay. All right. What you doing?
How far are we going? Out of curiosity, how far is Oxford?
That's about 30 miles.
Okay.
And so, what time is it now? About 9?
Yeah.
Do you tell us what he said?
I do. Sorry.
Well, we could have him come up and meet us there.
No, that's not how it works.
But we don't have time to photograph the book otherwise.
No, so we have a choice to make.
Well, which pages? I don't know.
So, everyone there knows we have the book now.
Mm-hmm.
So, the question I'm thinking is why anyone would bargain it with us at all, rather than how we could offer them anything except the book.
Right.
He'll be at the club, though.
Yeah.
Where's his office?
You mean
That office.
his workshop?
That one, yes.
Yeah, it's I give you the address.
Let's go there.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm not going back in there.
Well, you can stay outside then.
Well, you can't leave me out in the...
If he's not there...
Well, he's going to be at the club. Why do... I mean, what is it that you're trying to do?
He keeps important things there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find us a way out of this. You don't want to give it to him. We have to take something else from him. Or you figure out how he doesn't come after us.
At this point, I think we give him his book and we walk away.
I don't know that we can walk away. Here's my problem. What's he doing with the eye? Right? We've got all these things about summoning.
I don't know.
That's my point. No. That's my point.
Right, but
if he's doing something with involving the whole of London, we don't have anywhere to walk away to.
I will also note for you, Miss Bailey, having spent your whole load, as it were.
Yeah.
If you don't get paid, your shop will go under.
Yes, but the bank will make good on his letter of credit if he dies. Or he can pay it. This is my other. If we figure out something from his office or his workshop to blackmail him with.
And so I break some things down for you. Mechanically, that would come out to a neutral result for the shop. You would not lose any money. You would not gain any money. Because he hasn't paid you your fee yet.
Yes. So do we possibly sacrifice the city in order to save the shop?
Well, I think we're all a little unsettled, but remember, it's a springtime night, and we've had a rather rough couple of days, and everything might just look better in the morning.
Except we
have to make the decision now.
But do you really think he's destroying London? That's it's crazy. It's insane.
Of course it is. So don't you worry about that part.
I don't. He's just a slightly eccentric researcher.
Yes, indeed. I will remind you, you're the one who read the book and who's been talking about possibilities.
Well,
So I'll ask you this then,
yes.
Professor. You haven't read the book. And listening to what Maggie and Shaw describe, what do you think he's doing?
I think he may believe he is.
Professor Handley, before we go further,
Yeah.
I will give you your choice of 2 different abilities to make a supposition as to what he's up to.
Okay.
You may use occult, which will give you certain answers, most of which you've probably already sussed out, or you may use Cthulhu Mythos.
I will use Cthulhu Mythos.
Yay!
Would you like to use Cthulhu Mythos, or would you like to spend a point of Cthulhu Mythos?
I would like to spend a point.
So, step 1,
Yeah.
lose 1
Hang
cent.
on. Okay. Well, that was covered anyway.
Yep. So,
That's
having
permanent,
read...
right?
Yep. So, did you have a question before I give you the clue?
No.
Okay. So, having read through Nameless Cults, Megapolissomancy, and now looked at a couple of the sketches in Citus Urbe Vere Claves, you think you've sussed out what Dives is doing based on the description that Maggie and Shaw gave you of the Vesicapiscus in his office.
Mm-hmm.
If that represents the Eye of Byatis, Byatis being one of the 2 elder gods fighting over the identity of London as per the folklore that you had researched earlier, then as long as he can keep the eye partially open, he can draw magical power from it to do magical things.
He or one could.
One would be able to do so. Yeah. And thus, the text would teach him how to keep the eye partially open. And as you think about it, as you sit back and your scientific mind pieces together semi-rationally,
Totally rationally.
how someone would keep a thing from beyond time and space partially gazing upon you and yours for all time in order to harness magical power, a bit of your psyche just crumbles away. The power of science, what is it? What is it to this? There's no physics answer to this. There's no rational answer to this.
Or could it be that it's a deeper theory of reality?
It is a deeper theory of reality, but one that makes all of your current theories of reality into so much flotsam.
Okay. Ladies, Mr. Hughes, I have a suggestion.
All right.
I, of course, believe that this is mostly a matter of noxious vapors and psychological suggestion.
What?
But, assuming the counterfactual, that this wizardry is real, then if he is to, well, if he is to have the book, then at least we could be aware of what he is doing, and he has indicated I might join his dastardly club, and therefore I would be, as you might say,
A wizard.
No, I was going to say a mole.
An apprentice wizard.
A mole assessing what he is up to and thereby supposedly thwarting it. Plus, we collect our fee. I mean, we should have to think carefully about what we've seen tonight and the other nights, and maybe there is a new beginning in this for all of us.
So based on what you've seen in the books,
Yes.
you don't think he's trying to destroy the city?
Well, that wouldn't make any sense.
I'm not asking if you may think it makes any sense.
Well, listen, Dives is he's a strange fellow, but like many people, he is desirous of power. I do not believe he will necessarily wish to destroy the city, just to make certain matters go more to his feeling. I mean, it's no possible use for him to destroy the city.
Oh, it could be, and people are mad.
Well, I tell you what, we could always assume he is not mad.
We could.
Or
If I were to agree to this, Professor,
yes,
I would have the caveat that people need to be a bit more careful about what they say to Mr. Dives in the future.
well, right, yeah, I don't follow.
You don't, and that's a problem.
Yes?
It is. However, I think we're going to go with that plan. Maggie, if you'll bear with me. I'm not even asking Shaw because he's like in the corner rocking.
Yep.
And so you drive over to the Commander Club. Its stately facade beams beneficently, if obnoxiously, down upon you.
Obnoxious Beneficence is a book on tape. Anyway, assuming that we are escorted in and we are going to hand over the book.
I'm going to assume that the professor and Anne are going in and we're staying in the car? Or are we all supposed to go in?
Nowhere.
Can we get everyone in?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So the question becomes,
do you want to stay alone in the car? Or possibly get a nice drink from their very fine bar?
Fine, but I don't want to talk to him.
I wouldn't recommend that anyway.
Come on, Shaw.
So you are brought into the foyer. Some drinks are offered to you, whatever you would like from the bar.
Maggie pounds back the gin.
About 15 minutes later, Johnstone Dives walks in, looking pleased, smelling vaguely of a cigar. Miss Bailey and company. Delight to see you. You have the text, I presume.
Of course we do.
Phenomenal. And the two of you make brief discussion on your payment and fee, which will count as a windfall for your store. As of the end of this adventure, your store will be credit rating 4. And he is all smiles and unctuousness.
And as an aside, I am totally also sending a bill that may not be entirely factual to Brigitte.
Absolutely.
I do have accounting. I will be just as gracious as I can be.
Give me a credit rating roll.
That's
Credit rating test.
not my strong suit. Roll a 2, so no. Total of 5.
So, okay, so smiles and invites you back into the one of the smoking rooms where he introduces you around and recommends you for anyone's literary needs.
Okay, y'all, did we just go on the side of
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Great.
No,
And
we're gonna
You walk out wondering just what you've aligned yourself to, but certainly you are through the looking glass and you drive off into the London night, successful and wealthy bookhounds
Great.
with Lord knows what coming after you. And that is the end of Whitechapel Blackletter.
Hooray.
Yay!
Yay!
So, like I said, store's credit rating is going to go up by 1. Everybody's going to get 2 build points as per usual. Also, that's the end of the story. So, your stability and health ratings all refresh completely and totally. Those of you who dropped to -5 or lower in stability, your permanent stability rating has gone down by 1. So if you want that back, you have to spend one of your experience points.
Oof. Okay.
Can the professor ask him to join the Commander Club, having been suggested to by Dives?
Absolutely. Spend a point of credit rating, and it's yours. And that'll and we'll count that as being at the end of the game because also, of course, all your investigative abilities, general abilities, all refresh as well.
So does that mean my credit rating go down permanently?
Nope. That just counts as an investigative spend. So, all right. However, you may wish to consider, if you do not wish to be considered a shabby member of the club, to invest a point in credit rating and come up with some explanation for where the professor might be making a little extra money.
Okay. I'll think on it.
All right. Thank you once again to Phil and now Tabitha. We have 2 fans. So thank you, Phil and Tabitha, for stopping by. If they sent you here, please click, share, and subscribe. And we will see you in 2 weeks. We will pick up a brand new adventure, complete with a trip to the theater. How exciting. Good night, everyone.